Welcome back to Chinese with Jai. In this episode, I'm going to introduce you the radical of metal. You're going to learn how to recognize it and in which kind of words it will play a role. The radical of metal comes from this character, jin, jin, and itself has two major meanings. Jin is a very precious metal, gold. And the people who works a lot with gold, make gold into jewelries and luxury items, we call them 金匠, goldsmith, 金匠. But gold has little to do with the characters or words in which this character plays a part. It's rather the other meaning, 金属, metal, 金属, that defines the meanings of other compound characters. Now, let's see how we can recognize this radical. It will always stay on the left side of this kind of structure. It looks a lot slimmer than its regular form. And not just that, it loses even some of the features, especially the two dots. This radical basically appears in two types of words. One, we can see them in all kinds of metal materials. For example, yin, silver, yin. And in Chinese, we call the bank yin hang, the bank. Yin hang, literally, yin hang, means it's a place where silver is stored and traded. By the time yin hang became a word in our language, silver has been used as the major sort of money for a few centuries. But China has always been poor in either gold or silver, and silver was basically flooded in from Europe through trading several products. Cha, tea, cha. 瓷, porcelain, 瓷, if you still remember them. And the third popular product would be 丝绸, silk, 丝绸. And probably you have noticed that 丝 and 绸 have something in common. And this is another popular radical, which I will introduce in future episodes. Let's come back to the metals. Other kinds would be 铁, iron, 铁, and 铜, copper, 铜. Similarly, we call people who work a lot with those materials are 铁匠, blacksmith, 铁匠, 铜匠, coppersmith, 铜匠. And 匠 usually means a guy who is specialized in handcrafting. And back in history, 青铜, bronze, 青铜 was a very, very important kind of material. 青 is a color that goes between blue and green. 蓝, 青, 绿. The second type of characters or words in which this radical plays a part are products or things made out of metal, such as 钢, steel, 钢. 镜子, mirror, 镜子. Here we need a time machine to take us back in history before glass was even invented. At that time, people used 青铜, bronze, to make a mirror. On the back side, it's usually nice designed with patterns of 花, flowers, and 鸟, birds. And on the front side, it's nicely polished to reflect. And thanks to the invention of glass, the 镜子 was able to be made of larger quantity at a better price. It also gives 镜 a second meaning for names of equipments that made of glass and help people to look far, like 望远镜, telescope, 望远镜, or check details in tiny little sizes. 显微镜, microscope, 显微镜, or glasses for people to improve vision. 眼镜, glasses, 眼镜. 眼 means eye, 眼. So glasses for the eyes we call 眼镜. Let's come back to the metal products. 锅, 锅. 锅 is a general name for those kind of cooking tools in the kitchen. It could be a boiler, a wok, a steamer, a pan, and we can always specify the usage by adding a lot of other characters in front of 锅 and go on with the next word. 针 needle. 针 and to say give an injection or to inject, we say 打针 打针. Literally, it means to hit the needle or let the needle hit. Because basically, this part of the equipment is also a needle, so sharp to go under the skin to let the medicine in. 钉 nail. 钉. The same character could be both a noun and the action verb. 钉 to nail. 钉. It's just pronounced slightly different. So we can say 钉钉子 to nail a nail. 钉钉子. And similarly, we have many other words like this one. 锯 the saw as the tool itself and as the action verb to saw something. 锯 锯木材 to saw the wooden material. 锯木材. Last but not least, 钱 money. 钱. And yes, before paper money or banknotes take into place, 钱 was mostly made of metal in the big part of history. Especially in China, it was mainly made out of 青铜 bronze, because either silver or gold were too rare and too precious to be made into coins to circulate around. There was a time when China was split into small kingdoms fighting against each other, and they all had their own coins. Some looking like a knife, the character itself too. 刀 knife. 刀. And some looking like other tools for farming, for industries, for handcrafting. Until one day they were all standardized into this kind of shape, round with a square hole in it. And it was the order from this man, the first emperor, the very same person who commanded to reinforce the Great War to defend the enemies from the north. 长城, the Great Wall. 长城, well, literally means the long city. And since then, this kind of coin became the major design for money for the next 2,000 years. And not only that, it also became the symbol of wealth. Now, I would like to introduce you an action verb that is related to money. 花 to spend. 花. 花 as a noun, it means flower. And as a verb, it means to spare time, effort, and money on something. 花时间 to spend time on something. 花时间. 花钱 to spend money on something. 花钱. 花功夫 to spare some effort on something. 花功夫. Well, 功夫 is the same word as kung fu, but besides the fantastic martial art you can see from the movies, it could also mean the effort and time one spends on the work in order to achieve a great result. The simplest sentence we can make about spending money: 我花钱 I spend money. 我花钱 你花钱 you spend money. 你花钱他花钱 he or she spends money. 他花钱. And to express spend money on something, we usually use another action verb. 买 to buy. 买 花钱买 something. 他花钱买花. He spent money buying flowers. 他花钱买花. And if we want to ask about the price, 他花多少钱买花? How much money did he spend on buying flowers? 他花多少钱买花? And to give an answer, we can simply put the certain amount of money between 花 and 买. 他花50元买花. he spends 50 yuan buying flowers. 他花50元买花. Or we can also express he spent a lot of money on buying flowers. 他花很多钱买花. 他花很多钱买花. That's all for this episode, and this is the end of season 2. Thanks for watching till now, and see you soon in the next season. 谢谢，再见。